Welcome, guys. Um, Big start to see what are already on the chat saying Jeddah on F122 is so bad. So, right. I'm already seeing the times of a lot of people, and it's saying it's more or less going down the 1:30 time. I know, like about 5 seconds off a decent pace. But let's go to the track. Let's take a slow time around the track. So, slow time around the track. So obviously this is the build up before you get to the final corner anyway. Right, so here we go. So start finish straight. DRS. You're kind of drifting across from left to right. Get yourself ready for the entry into turn 1. Now turn 1 is very similar to the start of Vietnam. So it's a right left chicane. Gently easing out into a short straight. And then firing left and right again. Follow it right round. You hook up this part and you'll find that the laps will do lap time will drop significantly. So this part here is where we're going to see a lot of track limits getting exploited. A lot of people coming in that corner a little bit too quick, going wide, or maybe coming into this corner a bit wide, and they will use that. So that's sector 1. Sector 2 starts off with a hairpin. Left-hander hairpin. But a slight camber on it. That camber will aid the speed. But then that's again, I'm getting a lot of Vietnam feels about this. And a lot of Canada feels, a lot of Sochi feels, and it's not a good mix, in all fairness. So I'm doing this at a relatively slow speed anyway, as we are heading up to the final corner again. So what we're going to be looking at here is the challenging points for drivers is actually keeping it away from those walls. There's not a lot of room for error on a lot of the corners. So when you're hammering down the start finish straight, you're going to be watching that inside line, because you know someone's going to stick a dive bomb in. Easier accelerator. I went a bit too rough on the coming out of turn 1. Into turn 3 now. Again, it's this runoff area here that a lot of people are going to be using, but it will just hamper the flow. And again, using all the track as much as you can. Obviously I am not sticking to the track limits, just showing you around. This corner is going to be a place where I'm going to see, you may see faster drivers try and go around the outside, because if they go side by side there, they get the inside here, and the inside here is actually more beneficial because it leads to the inside of this corner here. You kind of can shoulder all the other drivers onto the runoff area. Oh, took my eye off the screen for a moment there. It is a terrible circuit for racing. There's not a lot of places for the overtakes. High pace. So if you go for standard setups, go for setup 2. Not 2, setup 4. So a little bit of increased speed, but with enough downforce to get you around those key corners. There you go. if we try and stick to the particular racing line, let's see what we can do before I make a hash of it. As I was like easing it through. Watch for the oversteer and turn 2. Into turn 3, brake nice and early. You want to ride the curb, and I've gone off. I knew that would happen. And as you've seen, it's ruined my flow all the way through. So if you go off of that curb there, you could run it right to the end. Lucky Tower does not have damage. See, as you see, running those curves and trying to get as much speed as you can, it's not really possible if you haven't got the flow. Just showing my terrible driving right now. The Jeddah showed prospect of being an absolutely amazing circuit for the speed, but I don't think city circuits are the way forward right now. So last run round of the circuit. So again, turn 1, hard on the brakes, get it right in onto that apex. You kind of want to put 2 wheels over it and stay off that red curb. And again, run these green curves gently wide. That line, I'm going to go back, because I'm going to show you what's wrong with this racing line. Okay, so the racing line shows you that you're leaving there and going out wide here. But that forces a second adjustment. So if you back it a bit more, back up. When you're coming in, you're going to be over this curve here. Swing it on the left hand side of the racing line. Bring it over. See this there? Instead of going out that way, carry it round a little bit more and put your car there. You'll find that your exit heading into turn 3 is a lot smoother than the reverse kink. And this is all about throttle control, speed control. Because you go too fast, you're going to miss those points, but you don't want to be braking. You just want to release the accelerator to slow down for some of these corners. As I say, this corner here, it's roll it in, roll it right around. You could take more speed going around the long way, but you want to hold the inside line a bit more, because you've got some sneaky beggars who's going to come diving it on the inside. And again, now this is back to getting the flow right. Smoothly does it. Obviously I'm on controller, so it's a lot tougher to hold the flow. So the circuit itself, it's not a great one. So looking at the people that's on my friends list that's actually done this. So Flea's on a 1:32.7, me being a 1:34.4 with a standard setup. Let's see, we've got Freedom there, 128.8. LH44, or which is now GR63, on a 128.0. So these are some of the drivers that we are going to be looking at in Tier 1. So we're ballparking it. It looks like Con's got a 129.0 with a penalty. Now that will be a simple track limits penalty that he could probably work on. So that's the level that we're looking at for Tier 1. So between 128 and 129. Tier 2 we're looking at 130 to 134. So there's our time brackets. I am going to be diving off for a break in a moment. But that is the start of Jeddah. Now with everything of the penalties and such that has been going on, we will have a quick little run through those penalties standings right now. So currently Tier 2. After round 1 we've got so Lewis Abika on 26, Dutch with Dutch facing on 18, both in the Haas. We've got CH55 with 15 in the Aston Martin with his teammate Zerdak with 12, DXT Vader with 12 in the Alpine, and then Flea in the Mercedes on 8. We've got Al Jadifa on 6 with an unassigned team at the moment. Nick to the name in the Red Bull with 4 points. DXT CK Fraud in the Mercedes on 2 points, and F1 Guy in the Alfa Romeo with 1 point. Still to score points is Curly, Princess Giza, DXT Lulu, and Hank Hutt. We've also got other drivers such as D-Ski, Big Pad, Scorito, and DXT Matty to enter the fray. So Dara's gone up the bloody gas. Hi Dara. Surprised you're still alive. So we're going to quickly run through the Tier 1 dead quick while we're here. So we've got Scarenzi, Non-Human, Martin, Frenzy, HCRA, who is the previous Tier 2 champion. Shaunicus, King 5 Panda, DXT Anthony, all running down from top to bottom with the points. Scotty and then Hepburn with the final points. I can't see why none of the Tier 2 drivers could be competing with some of these drivers who's already hit points. So, got to bring up a few little points about the previous race. So we've got an incident. It's not really much of a major incident. It was a small one with so basically there was a bit of weaving done by SMH on the Xbox side. It's just to reiterate the point that weaving more than twice is deemed as an offence, regardless whether the driver is close enough to make an overtake or not, or whether it's dangerous. We have gone with the data stewards have gone with a no further action because we want to be a little bit lenient. But it does remind drivers that weaving will not be tolerated. So if it changes twice and move more than half the track, then that will be deemed as a move. But we'll leave it at that. We had a little collision in the Xbox side, which is all good. That's all been resolved. The PS side, we've got again, careful into Tier 1, Tier 2 of lap 1, guys. It does bring up a few issues. Because drivers going in there 2-3 wide and they're not giving each other space. You've got to be a bit more careful. And try when you, especially during a safety car restart, keep within a respectable distance. If you start hanging back when you're about to start racing again, you're not only giving yourself a disadvantage, every car behind you will have a disadvantage, and that will then cause a knock-on effect, and it will just split the race down the middle when the safety car should be bunching everybody up closer together. That issue has been resolved. Hopefully we won't have any further of that. And going AI or lose, if you go AI or you lose miss contact and your AI car does commit an offence, you will be treated treated as if you are the driver. So if your connections are dropped and you can't get back in the race, just let us know and we'll sort that out. Got big salty sea water coming over. What's your favourite corner / section of corners on the F1 calendar? Well, that's a great one. As I jump into the group. Right. What do I say? What is my favourite? Oh, that's a really tough question because there's a lot of. Personally, if I'm racing it, I'd say Canada or Hungary because I do tend to get a nice flow through those corners. But when it comes down to when I want to see action or just looking at vehicles, Bahrain from turn 4 all the way up to turn 11. Watching those cars through turn 4 go for the battles, fantastic. Then the weaving when it shifts the packs in. Turn 8, that always shows who can get the best acceleration ready down to turn 10. And then a little straight at the end where you may see jostling back and forth. That's my favourite section of all the cars, all the F1 calendar. But there's a lot of things like I do like Monza. Monza has a nice flow to it, and Ascari looks brilliant. Watching the cars fly through Ascari, and then the Parabolica is another great corner. So you've asked a tough question there, Big Salty Sea Water, and I would love to hear what you think. So at the moment, currently, we have 10 drivers in the lobby. Sorry, not 10 drivers. We've got 11 drivers now and 1 spectator. So we've got Lewis Speaker who's like signals up and down a little bit. That could be just with me rather than with the server. Big Salty Sea Water, do you prefer Chinese or Indian for a takeaway? I prefer Chinese. The curry tastes nicer. Big Salty Sea was my favourite corners are the swimming pool, the piscine section at Monaco, which is absolutely amazing. When you get up right, it's just like wow. So we've got Cara going evening, bro, evening, Cara. Elizabeth's in. Hello, Elizabeth. I think you're in the on the wrong run at the moment. Hopefully, Rob Simracer gets it going, and you can get on board and watch your man dominate again. Guys, just keep coming in. Let us know what you're thinking. Ask stupid questions. I'm all up for that. The more random, the better. Still waiting for a few drivers to jump in their cars. We've got iMarshall So Ian needs to get into a car. Predictions, guys. That's another one. I want to see your predictions. And Elizabeth, yeah, I'm waiting. Who do you prefer, Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel, or Lewis Hamilton? Right. Now that there is a hell of a question. Now, as someone who is from Britain, I should say Lewis Hamilton. But no. If you ask me right now, who's my favourite driver of all of them, I'd say Vettel. But if you ask me when Vettel was in Ferrari, I would have said Hamilton because I do not like Ferrari drivers usually. Vettel was kind of, let's say, quietened. His opinions and his character did not really come out as much with Ferrari because how stiff they are with the freedom of speech with their drivers. A bit like it's similar to the way Mercedes are as well. Mercedes do not allow freedom of speech, although it's part of Lewis Hamilton's contract that he does get that bit of freedom with his speech. Alonso, talented driver, just annoying, too arrogant. But everything he's been saying lately in the last season has been spot on. I can't argue so, but it's a really tough one. Kelly Schumacher to replace Vettel? Not a chance. Not a chance. The Haas is a better car. Haas are 50-50 with him right now, with Schumacher, because he's had a few accidents, but he is scoring points. Schumacher will not go over to Aston Martin in the current conditions with that Aston Martin team. It's not happening. No, can't see it. I could see a junior driver coming in for Mercedes to take that spot. But I can see Schumacher staying at Haas. Who do you prefer out of these then? George Russell, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, and Lando Norris. Right, I like three of those drivers. One driver I despise. And anybody who does listen to anything I've said in the past may realise who that is. But between them, I'd have to say Lando Norris. It's just the right character, but I think George Russell's a future champion. George Russell is committed. He pushes himself, body and mind, to be the better driver, as good as he can be, and he's showing it in that Mercedes because he is outperforming Lewis most of the time. Like Russell and Norris, and then Verstappen in that order for Elizabeth. Oh, not bad. I'll go Norris, Russell, Leclerc, then Verstappen because I can't stand Verstappen. Verstappen is on the same level as Nikita Mazepin when it comes down to what I like and what I don't like. Big Max isn't even on my list. Do you know, the thing is that the guy's talented. He is such a talented driver. The issue we have with Max Verstappen is that his attitude. He thinks that he belongs. He thinks he's better than what he is, and that's a huge issue. He's a crybaby, but then a lot of F1 drivers are crybabies. They do cry when they feel like they get disadvantaged because the difference between first and second is 7 points, and 7 points goes a long way. And Deepski, mate, if you're coming out saying Super Max, then I hope you spin your car into a wall today because there's nothing super about Max. If he was that good, then he should have been doing better. What would you think if Kimi came back to F1 in Aston? Kimmy won't come back. No, Kimmy's done. Kimmy has stated that he's not he would quit F1 when he stops enjoying it. When he stops enjoying it, he's not coming back. And he stopped enjoying it. He finished off that season and left. He's not coming back. Kimmy's a man of his word. When he left the first time, it wasn't the fact he wasn't enjoying it. He wanted to try something different. So Kimmy won't be back. Sorry, I'm Dutch. Well, that's fair enough. If you're Dutch, you've got to support your own. But then again, I suppose don't support Lewis. Big Salty Seawater with. He's an awesome driver, but as soon as he's losing, he's whining and moaning and everything. Hate his dad more though. Now, me and you have got the same wavelength when it comes down to Max and his dad. His dad's the worst person. That is him and Helmut Marko both need to be put on a wall and shot. I think Max would still be a good driver, but be a bit more respectful if his dad wasn't in a paddock every single week. So guys, keep up with the questions. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know who you think's going to be winning this race. And more importantly, what lap do you think Curly's going to crash his car on? Whoa, good call actually. His dad was a rubbish driver too. I'd rather Stroll over his dad. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Do you know what that says? Do you know who I could see taking over Vettel in Aston Martin? Another German. The return of the Hulk. Big Salty Seawater. Curly's crashing on formation lap. Great one. That's a great one. I like it. I like it. So, guys, yeah, we have got the call for readying up. So, we've got 16 drivers. And please remember, we do have the frenzy rule in place, so everybody must put in a lap. If you don't put in a lap, you could face a race disqualification. So, Jeddah, boys, this is gonna be horrible. I do have a question. The DXT CK crowd, is that Carl or Mrs. Carl that's racing? If anybody can let me know, because I've got a feeling it might be Mrs. Carl. She's the better driver. And we got a good look from Big Salty Seawater. A driver that I do believe should have been in Tier 1, really. Because he was really competitive. But then again, this is a new game. So here we go. Into Jeddah we go. Just sorting out my volume settings, guys. So I'm bored with Zodak at the moment. Let's bring up telemetry, lap data, track map full. And Lewis the Beacon will be the first car out. There we go. I'm gonna change the volume. There we go. That's better for my ears. Right. So. Let's hide user interface as we're about to approach the final few corners. And let's see what qualifying can give us from Big Sort of Seawater, aka Lewis the Beaker. So around the hairpin we go, and boom, off we go. So here we go, starting down the start finish. So this is a DRS then. Heading on to the right, swinging left into turn 1, followed in by turn 2. And see this, he rolled a bit too far wide, the car stays out of the way. A little kink here, onto turn 3. Now turn 3 is a harsh braking left, then swing right. Hold it on the inside, flick over to the outside, and then round, here we go, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A lot of corners, 10. Lot of corners to go through into sector 1, sector 2, hairpin. The next is the slow corners. This is where there is an opportunity to overtake here. Float through, and that's a left, right. Sorry, right, left, and it's a validated lap for hitting that wall. So that chicane reminds me of one of the chicanes in Canada. You've got to get it perfect, and it's so easy to lose it on a circuit. When I Marshall is squad fire for the section for the wrong way. What's probably happened is that he's probably spun his car and got disqualified. So basically everybody else is just going to do a lap, doesn't matter whether they're fast or not. You get a lap done, they're through to the next sector. DXT Vader, has he crashed out, has he? Yeah, he's crashed. I've got Moshe till I die. Smashing his car up a little bit. So Nick to the name on a 132.4. Hancock on a 136.7. And Zodak in the pits. Scorito. Almost invalidated that lap there. We'll stay with him as it comes up to the final corner. A very nice looking Williams, that is. With 132.2 puts himself on pole position at the moment. So Moshe with no wing. Lulu. Validated the last lap, he needs to go again. Touch up the dot shade. So a lot of drivers and Deep Ski with a 132.0 really putting it out there for all to see. Alright. So Some of these drivers I have no idea who they are. So Deep Ski, this is the first time I've really seen Deep Ski race. Same with Scarito, I may have seen him race once or twice before. And we've lost Lulu. So Lulu's crashed out. DXD CK Proud. Now, I still need to know, is this Carl or is this Mrs. Carl? Because I've not seen either of them really race much. But I do know that Mrs. Carl can put in a good lap. Or did he take it in turns? We won't know until they declare. So Nixon and Ames just 1.5 tenths behind. And then the 2 tenths behind that has got Miles clipping the wall there. Hancock with a 1:36.7. Let's see how Flea does. DXT CK Proud with a 1:31.8. That is. And their teammate is on a 1:32.4. Absolutely fantastic. So, are we watching Carl or Mrs. Carl today? You know, it could be Carl, but then I've got confidence Mrs. Carl could have to put that lap in as well. Flea with 1:32.4. It's actually fair for Flea to do that. I'm sure you can do quicker. And Curly less. Hopefully Curly can put a good lap in. Oh, do apologise, guys. Lewis Vika on a fast lap. Let's see what how he can do it. And Scooby-Toe has retired in the pit by the looks of it. That is in the pit. And the 1:30.8 from Lewis Vika, the top, just almost a whole second in front of DXD CK Proud. So we're losing 3 drivers already, with Vader and Lulu both out. A lot of people don't. We need everyone to put in a time lap really here. Let's watch Dutchman Dutch face. And he is so lucky not to hit the wall there. He just needs to take this across the line and he'll be able to move into the next round without an issue. And just like the suspicion says, the XTCK Proud is Mrs. Carl. So Mrs. Carl putting a hell of a lap in there to put on P2 at the moment. That is tier 1 level kind of. And Moshe has put in 1:35.8. Curly with 1:34.4. Nice time there from Curly. I'm sure you'll get a lot quicker in the next one. We're just waiting for CH55 Max to put in this lap in and get himself through to the next sector, next qualified times. Last few corners now. I'm glad I'm not the only one who's seen this time on screen. It's a bit mental, but here we go. The 1:33.6 is quite nice. Guys, save ourselves a bit of time, get yourself back in the pits, and let's retire to the next qualifier section. Big Salty Seawall said, I thought you were getting F1 2022. Well, things change. And now we've got CH55 Max retiring on track. Unless permission was given by an admin, which I believe the only one who can actually really rate that in this on this level is actually myself or Flea. Obviously got Vader, Lulu, and Mrs. Carl, who are all part of the DXT team who could make a call on that. There's Dutch and Dutch Race going out for a little dance around track. So we've got Big Salty Seawall asking, does that mean that you're back on comms again? It means I'm able to help with comms. I wouldn't say that I'm on it, because I'm not going to be doing it fully as fully committed as I have been doing over the last few seasons. It'd be different now because Rob Racer as the lead commentator means that I can be the +1. But so it's asked what's been your favourite F1 game. In all honesty, I'm gonna if I could, I'll take the story mode from the last game. So 21, the story mode from 21 and put it into 20 when we had the classics, because the classic cars were amazing. So right now we've only got 2 cars left out on track until we go to Q2. So keep up with your questions, guys. Do appreciate it. And some fantastic laps from a few of our drivers. Lewis and Beacon, with that time you should be racing tier 1. That was an absolutely amazing time there. Mrs. Carl with a 1:31.8. Again, that is actually a very competitive time and could compete for points in Tier 1 with that time. D-Ski again, not far behind. Scarito, Nick to the name. I think Flea, Miles. See, these bunch of times here are the times that I expect in the lower half of the Tier 1. Dutch Race puts it on P1 with a 1:30.7. These two drivers definitely could race in Tier 1 and compete for podiums. Question: if you could remove 3 tracks off the current calendar, what would they be? Right. Well, the one I would have removed straight away is Circuit of Americas. I think it's hideous. I think it's a horrible course. I think it's a waste of time and money using that circuit because it's absolutely ridiculous. Him and Toke just stuck a load of his favourite corners all together. I think, oh yeah, well, these corners work in Bahrain, this one worked in Turkey, these ones work in Britain, these corners worked well in Malaysia. We'll stick them all together and we'll come up with a super track. It doesn't work that way. So that's the first one gone. Second one, ooh. Jeddah. I'm sorry, I don't see the point of it. It's quick, and that's all it's got. It's 2 squiggly lines with a hairpin at either end. Nobody wants to see that. And Miami. Again, it's a circuit like this. We've got plenty of them. Give us an open circuit. Open circuit, not a street circuit. I think street circuits are a bit overdone now. We need dedicated circuits. These pop-up, pop-down circuits are just not for me anymore. They're a nice novelty when you bring in Baku and you brought in, well, Monaco's always been a street circuit, you can't get rid of that. Baku, Singapore, fantastic street circuits. They work. Sochi doesn't work. Jeddah doesn't work. It's just terrible. Right, so that is the end of Q1. So we've got Dutch Race holding out there with Lewis the Beaker and Mrs. Carl taking the top 3 spots. Dave Ski, Scarito, Nick Name, Flea, Miles, Curly, Max, Zodak, Moshe and Henkot in that order, running in the times. We've got DNFs from DXD Vader, DXD Lulu, and a disqualification from I Marshall, which I do believe may have been getting himself back on circuit. So let's have a little look, right? Incidents. Now, I Marshall wrong way, disqualification. Terminal damage, yeah. So they crashed. We've had 2 invalidated rollout times, I'd say. Speeding in the pit lane from Scarito and Miles. I'll tell you what, guys. They've got to stop. Because let's see what favourite drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic. I might as well answer both. So, non-alcoholic is Iron Brew. Absolutely love the stuff. Alcoholic is Disaronno with Coke. What about yourself, mate? What do you like? What does everybody else like? Come on, let us know while you're in. And we're waiting for the next screen to load. I've heard a dirty rumour that Mrs. Carl's favourite drink is the tears from Carl when he realises that his missus is a better driver than he is. No, Big Salty Sea Water's favourite drink is water. Really? Okay. Oh, a lot of people do. There's a lot of people out there who prefer to drink water. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of them. So, can't fault that. So we've got Max who's out first. See, the one thing is habit I get into tier 2 is to put up the tyres selection, but with the current rules, tyre selection doesn't matter. It should be all softs. Not sure I like that anymore. I preferred the old way when people had to, when drivers and the teams had to work out what tyre was best to start on and use that to qualify on. So we're just... Everybody's out on an out lap. First time I've ever seen this. And everybody's got out. There's not a lot of time to get your laps in, guys. Especially if some of you are losing it on some of the corners. So we've already got 13 drivers. We have missed out 3. It's just Lulu, iMarshall, and Vader. So being our first driver out and about, let's jump aboard and let's see how he's doing hitting these apexes. So he had to come off the accelerator on the exit of that corner rather than through the apex, which may hamper him on the exits here, and he's got a little bit wide on this corner, but it's not too wide where he's lost a lot of pace. A little bit jolty there, missed the apex in that corner, which was hampered the apex in the next corner, and everyone else. Circuit is quite twisty, quite weavy. Onto the final corner, let's see how they do. A 1:33.0, a good time to start with. And so that's back in the pits. Lewis to Baker with 1:30.3, absolutely smashed it. Dutch face with a 1:31.3, we know he can do it quicker than that. And Moshe is out. He's died in sector 1. A lot of cars struggled at that point there. So Max has hit the wall. Tell you what. Drivers navigating around the crashed out Moshe and the spun out CH Max, 55 Max. Done absolute wonders. Last time I commentated on this, I was watching Curly go through a sector of the track, not far after where the Moshe went out. He weaved through 3 cars and then just lost the back end and crashed. Okay, he's got pace, he's got legs, he's doing really well. One 32.7. You know what? I reckon he can go a bit quicker. I really do think he can go a bit quicker. Seen little areas of where he could improve, but yeah, overall a very good lap from Curly. Scotito with a 1:31.1. We've got Mrs. Carr coming out of the pit. Hopefully Mrs. Carr can do something about this. So that now on a flying lap. Because Aston Martin gave you a heart attack. Yeah, it's not just yourself, mate. A few people got the heart attack from both the Aston Martin and the McLaren. So let's have a look at these cars. I actually quite like the look of the way Williams Racing. It's a very nice blue, very nice car indeed. This Red Bull it's just a Red Bull. I can't say nothing more about that. It's the same as it always has been. Maybe the blue's slightly different shade, but that's about it. McLaren almost getting back towards the Gulf look. And the AlphaTauri is a fantastic looking car. Mercedes, great car, great looking car. And hopefully, let's stay with her, Mrs. Carl. Let's see how she does today. And Mrs. Carl brings a 1:31.8, but we know she could do a lot better than that. Still a good time really to start off with. Nice bank and lap. Right, so Nick to the name, because Max now he's on the cusp of getting dropped out because Hank Hood needs to pull a lap together. And Dave's just come out to play. You can see the difference in the wheelbase between the two cars. Quite like doing that where you compare the cars actually physically. Carrying on out lap, so is Jeddah. So got Scarito and Flea, who have both retired from the session. Always be extremely hot or always be extremely cold. I think I say extremely cold. I handle the cold better than I handle the heat. Yeah, I'll go extremely hot, cold. Tough questions asked that, but fair enough. So Dave Ski now, halfway around the flying lap. Can he improve? As Miles is retired from the session. Oh, invalidated that lap for clipping out the inside wall. And he's lost a whole chunk of wing. Falling forward on it. And not enough time to go back out again. I don't believe annoying. Nick to the name. Has invalidated his last lap. No, he's not going to make it round in time. As Kelly timed, I think Kelly might have timed it right. But he's gone in. As Kaylee's choice to jump in the pits, is it going to work out for him? Because the only person who can knock him off is Max. Max goes through. He's improved by four tenths. He needs another 4 attempts to take that spot off. No, he only needs, yeah, he needs just over 4 attempts. So he just needs the 4 attempts, he just needs to hold on to that now. There he goes. Is Max about to knock him out? Always eat super hot, spicy food or super sour food. Super spicy. I'm not into sour. And Max does take it off. Curly in P11, which means we'll be saying goodbye to Curly, Hank Hut, and Moshe. Ready to go into Q3. So that is that. Right, so Lewis the Beaker taking the P1 at the moment, Scarito. McDuffie taking P2 and 3. Flea, Miles, Deevsky, Mrs. Carl, Zodak, Nick's name, and CH55 Max all going through to Q3. We're going to be saying goodbye for the moment to Curly, Hank Hut, and Moshe. I have a feeling that Curly might have lost a little bit of wing or something. That's why he came into the pits and not went for a flying lap, because I think he might have actually been able to hold his P10 if he did go for another lap. So guys, if you haven't already, I have got 105 subscribers, and I would love to have a few more. So just drop that follow if you can, and if you're happy with the commentary today, just drop us a like. Thank you very much. So moving into Q3 now. Q3 it's the 9th point of qualifying. It's the part that everybody looks forward to. But we are in Jeddah, so we could see some upsets here. Like, we could see Dutchface take pole and Lewis the Beaker independent wall. We could end up with a shock start and have Flea taking P1. Like, that will never happen, I know, but you never know if people crash out. So, here we go. Who's our first driver? So we've got the two Hasses leading the way, with Dutchface and Lewis the Beaker. Now, they could actually help each other out here, but they have got an AlphaTauri in between. Let's bring up the timing screen. Lap data and telemetry, please. So Dutchface, one of my favourite drivers. Mostly because I do like saying his name. Yeah, it's a name that I've kind of pushed onto him. Dutchface is actually brilliant. There we go. And we're going to start off with a nice little start from Dutchy. Gears up for the next corner, and very nicely done. Struggling. Straight on all those curves he can. Oh, Dutch face has spun out. Lucky for Dutch face, that was didn't take him out. Oh, and the AlphaTauri spun as well. Is that Miles? They were extremely rough when Max came in to the pits and his car had not even pushed away. About 1.3 seconds on up there, so no way he did that. He had a timing glitch surely. I thought I was through there, that's why I didn't push a lap in. If you're watching my screen to see whether he's coming into the pits now, I am about a minute behind. No, not even a minute, I'll say about 30 seconds behind. Because it's a bit of a difference, and I really have no idea about that. Might have to have a little look into it, but things are going to come out soon. I was going to play Kelly because I reckon you could have easily held on to P10. It would have been good to see you here. So it looks to be at the moment currently sitting on 130.3. Quite consistent at the times. Miles and Mr. Face both having a spin got a 149 and a 150 respectfully, but I've got to say that's still quicker than probably what I would be doing. Mrs. Carl's coming to the pits. Mr. Carl goes into pits as Flea comes out the pits. What I'm going to do, I'm going to check the race director. Exceeding track limits, speed in the pit lane, exceeding track limits, speed in the pit lane. Come on guys, stop speeding in the pit lane. Not 5. So McDushface puts a 130.364. 8 thousandths behind his teammate. Basically, it was 1 mile per hour, I'm sorry. So, yeah, got an apology from Big Salty Seawater, so I might not pass this up to the stewards. So Dutchface heading back into pits. We've got a few people out on outlaps. We've got Miles, Sodak, Squeeto. Flea's on a fast lap. This is Carl and D-Ski both on. Oh, D-Ski's just started his fly lap. Well, let's stay on board with D-Ski. Let's see how he does. And I'll let him use it for your enjoyment, guys. and Dave Ski's dived into the pits when I thought he was actually going to hit a very good lap time. Let's see how Mrs. Cargo is doing. Halfway around the lap, and it looks like she's actually come off a little bit. I don't think she's going full pelt, but she's just perfect sector 2. She's got a really good line. And into the final corner. Very nicely done, that's so smooth. $132.0. You know, don't know what it is, I don't know, but she was so quick in Q1. She got a little bit slow in Q2 and then a little bit slow again in Q3. Come on, Mrs. Calm, you're better than that. Nixon then pulls off into P3, sorry, with 131.1. Very close there between all these drivers. So currently at the moment in P1 we've got Lewis Vico with 130.356. His teammate in P2 with 130.364. Nixon name on the 131.1, and we've got Miles on the 131.14. Flea has retired for the session. I do think that is in the pit with 131.3. A nice time on PT5 at the moment, but gotta be careful because we are running out of the last moments now, so I don't see Mrs. Khan going to be able to improve on their time. We do have Zodak, who is trying his hardest to get around this corner. He's got plenty of time now. He will be able to get another lap in. Scarito, CH55 Max. Steve Ski now needs to put in a hell of a lap here. This is a one-shot quali basically for these last few drivers. Scarito. And see, Max puts a 131.0, puts himself on P3. So we're basically watching. We are watching every driver really. Mr. Beaker, touch with Dutch face. Miles is involved in the he's just going to have to go around Mr. Cole in the pits and finish. Scarito with 133.0. Not enough to make any impact in the top in the places above. And Lewis to be composed to 130.0. Absolutely amazing, almost breaking that 130 barrier. Dutch face though could still cause an upset here. He goes 131. Oh, Dutchy McDutchface steals it with a 129.5. What a lap time for Dutchy McDutchface. D-Ski with 131.0. DH Max on a 131.0 as well. What a bunch of times we've had there. So guys, I'm going to run through these again because some of these times are unbelievable. Dutchy McDutchface on a 129.5. Almost half a second faster than his teammates on a 130.045. Almost a second behind in front of Divsky on a 131.035. We've got CH Max on a 131.0, and Nick to the name on a 131.1, Miles on 131.1, Flea on a 131.3, and then Mrs. Cole on a 132.0, which we do know she can do a lot better than that. Should have took 2 seconds off that time really, and that would have been ideal for her. Okay, so I think I might have glitched. I'm not sure. Oh no, we can't have any glitches. But some of those times we've had so far has been absolutely phenomenal. Okay, I think I'm okay. I'm glad you're okay, man. So here we go. We're going to start with formation lap. This is the moment now where the drivers are deciding their tyre strategy. So they've got to think about what tyre they're going to start on and when they're going to pit. Obviously, that can actually be amended throughout the race. You can change it. Kelly thinks he's glitched out. We'll find. We'll see if the car is in or not. As we've got 30 seconds to count into the formation lap. There's just a few seconds left to go. Here we go. Formation lap, go. So, like before, like previous seasons, it is all down to right. So, like I said, it's more important now than it has been in previous seasons. With these lower grade, lower wall tyres, it is important for tyre warm up. So, tyre strategy, if starting on mediums, it's probably going to be a 1-stop. If starting on soft, it could be a 2-stop. So previously we would have like, say, the top 10 being pretty much all on softs, with a couple on mediums, and then bottom 10 being on mediums and hard. It seems we've got a mixed bag. Which is quite bizarre. So the standard data, so one with the Dutch races is lined up, and one with his tyres. You don't get tyre blankets, so the tyres start off cold, so you really do need to put the heat in. Oh, he's overshot it. If you overshoot your bay, you get put back, and you don't get to angle yourself. So if you can angle yourself slightly off, like as you can see, Lewis Beaker has angled himself off to the right a little. There we go. And so there's no tyre adjustments that you have to make there, and he's jumped into the lead there over his teammate, which is clear. 5 lights have gone before you can even breathe. I'm also taking time around the back there, making sure he's not going to get caught. And a little tag there into Hencourt. We have got up and down movements of a few drivers. Let's see where Mrs. Carl totally down the pecking order a little bit there, but I'm sure they'll move back up. So we have the Haas drivers switching over and Lewis to be order making 1 second over his teammate Max there, right behind Dutchy with Dutch face and 3. Losing a bit of gap, but he's got Miles there for company right now. Miles looking for the gap, jumping into deep skis down through a few places and looking like he could be losing now to Zodak in a moment. Zodak looked for a movement, looked for a position that wasn't there for him to take at the moment. Needs to start again and build that back up again as Nick to the name now looking at deep ski as the next possible challenger. And DXD Mrs. Carl looking to she's got a good view. She can see an accident about to happen between these two drivers in front. There's a lot of scraping on as the downforce is pushing those cars into that, and Nick the name has lost out because Zodak is dived on the inside as we have got that one over and done with. So it's starting to spread out. Miles is still right behind Flea. Flea did a great job at slowing the pack down. This car's got a little bit of work to do because we've got DXTV there. And Lulu coming up to our team drivers, hunting to start getting into those point positions. So soft tyres lasting about 7 to 9 laps, I reckon. And then hard on the way to the end, maybe. Medium's lasting about 11 to 15 laps, it says on screen. That's about right. You could theoretically get a medium to soft if you plan it well and you take care of the tyres. So Zodak manages to get, or Nick the name managed to get past Zodak. And there's the other sectors flashing up everywhere, but no safety car. DRS has been enabled and moved back racing fully all green. I don't know whether Kelly is back in or not, or he isn't at all. He hasn't asked for an invite, he just said he's glitched out. So which means he must be back in the race. He would normally ask for an invite. So they're looking for that opportunity to get past Nick to the name. And the two Alpine drivers are switching back and forth, which is good. They should work together to get themselves back into this race. So Mrs. Carl now looking to get past Zodak. Had to come off the accelerator there, as we do have again all sectors gone yellow. Curly with a 5-second penalty for ignoring a yellow flag. I'm not too sure what happened there. He's probably got told he could overtake. So a few people's dived into pits. It is a high degradation circuit, so the tires do degrade a little bit quicker than we expect anywhere else. And it is a very long circuit with 25 laps, which equates to about 51 in real life. It's a tough circuit to master. Dutch and Dutch face well and truly in the lead. With 12 seconds. And somehow Miles has managed to get himself up into P2. So Lewis got DRS. DRS is strong. And that there, little touch, and there was a retaliation there from Miles. Luckily drivers have not lost it, got any damage. But this little fairy fight between these two drivers may have caused an issue, so Lewis Sabika may have lost a bit of a wing, has he? There is a new wing going on and hard tyres. Those hard tyres can go near enough to the end. So right now Dutch face well and truly in the lead. I just build it. Miles up 4 places, Fleet up 4 places, Lulu up 11. Lulu did absolutely brilliant. And there's Miles spin around and facing the... And Curly slowed right down. Because of the yellow flags in the sector, he slowed right down, allowing Miles to straighten up. And there is a yellow car, a safety car. See, I don't get safety car on my screen, I just get yellow sector and sector 1, 2, 3. Right now, we have Flea and Lulu taking P1, P2, Dutch face in P3. Scarrito, P4, Max P5, so that P6. Oh, it's gone down to P6 because Deep Ski has got into P6. Mrs. Carl now looking into P8. P9 for Lewis Speaker. He's got a lot of work to do now to get himself back where he belongs, and that's at the front of this race. Nick to the name now in P10. We've got Miles in P11. Got Curly in P12. I'm Marshall in P13. Mosher in P14. Hancock in P15. And Vader. Somehow has ended up at the back. It'll be quite interesting to see how this starts off. Let's have a look at the tyres situation right now. So that's it. Nearly everyone's stopped. The only people who have it is Scarrito, Flea and Lulu. So right now, Dutchface is leading the pit strategy, followed by Max and Bisky. And with the current situation, I don't think a pit right now would suit either of those. It's first two. So we're on lap 7 of 25. Expecting a lot more from these guys. I'm expecting a lot more battles. And we're just waiting for Vader. I think it is Vader that we're waiting for. He's gone back into the pits for a set of hard tyres and a new wing. Alright, so we'll have one more lap under safety car conditions by the looks of it. We've got iMarsh and Miles both jumping in the pits. So with this circuit, the natural release point for a safety car release is after the sharp turn at Vader's. You've got to approach down. So we're gonna be watching carefully from the Dutch Face's point of view, because right now we can see drivers are working out what to do. Need to make sure those tyres are at the optimum temperature as well, especially with those hard tyres, because those hard tyres take longer to warm up. So Vader has retired from the session. I believe that was in the pits. Safety car is in on this lap. So it seems that the safety car is getting itself away a lot better than before. So Lee manages to confuse Lulu, but the Dutch face was on it. So Philippe does make an advantage over Lulu, but Lulu lost out to the Dutch face as well. So there's a penalty for Curly for collision with Moshe, and Scarito's allowed him to go back in front, maybe because he felt like he impeded Curly at some point. So the two teammates getting into a Max Verstappen and Dan Ricciardo moment, and I'm also Hank Hutt battling out for P11 right now. And that will open the door towards the next point scoring position. This is P10, held currently by Miles, who is looking to close down that 3.5 second gap that somehow is built up right from the 6-car restart. And Nick Name is looking to get past Mrs. Carr. Mrs. Carr on the medium tires should have better traction, and you can see she is closing that gap down slowly to this lot. This lot is like this group of drivers. So the Lewis Speaker looking to get past Deepski, and he does, and he's got Max right in front of him now. So there's a good exit here, and there's Max always. It's on the inside, long side, and Lewis Speaker does manage to get the move done on Max. Absolutely fantastic moment there by Lewis the Beaker. So, oh, Lewis the Beaker spins, and he's been collected by so Lewis the Beaker spins. QH55 Max is collected by. And we're going to say goodbye to CH55 Max after that. So, with Dutch face out in the lead, we're not going to have a safety car. Flea in second, and we've got Lulu in third. And obviously, they've got to hold their gaps at the moment. And we are back racing again. So that in fourth, Deepski in fifth. With a penalty, we've got Mrs. Carl now, who is closing quite quickly up to Deepski. I think Deepski is carrying a bit of damage. Yes, he's carrying wing damage. So we'll be expecting Deepski to dive in the pit right now. It stays out. Mrs. Carl is closing in on that like very quickly. A bit of battle at the back here between Scarito and Curly, and it's looking like a fair battle there between them. Quite nice to see that, nice fair battle. But right in front of Curly is his teammate Moshe. Hencut. Looking to make into the point. And we've got Lewis Beaker, who is desperate to make up for the couple of mistakes that's happened so far. And Marshall again on the soft tyres. And who was that in front of them? Oh, there's a spinning. Oh, a Red Bull, spinning Red Bull. That's Nixon Name. And Nixon Name done the right thing there. Spun, waited, and he's allowed the cars to go past. So there's the Vita. Still got a few positions to make up. I'm Marshall now in P8, looking to get Miles. He's looking to get Deepski looking to have Mrs. Carl, so he's made the move past Deepski, and Deepski almost losing it to Miles. Miles got no wing at all. Deepski's lost an end plate. Miles has lost the full front wing. And it's those little knocks that is the reason why Miles has not got a wing. As you can see there, we've got High Marshall. A little bit of a harsh break in there. Ian needs to be a little bit careful. Following the car too closely behind. This is Carl starting to open up that gap from behind. As we are hitting the halfway point of the race shortly. Deeski gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Dutch Face holding off in P1 with Flea in P2 and Lulu in P3. As do have the other safety car. Oh. So we have Curly, Moshe, Lewis Mika, and Marshall all in this pile up. Unbelievable. Unbelievable indeed. Wow. Again, it's another incident Kelly's managed to avoid. Deepski with a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Curly. See, these are the penalties that happen to some drivers due to carelessness sometimes or game glitches. That's the only two times that those incidents do happen, and I think that is more of the latter. So let's have a little rundown as we've only got 11 drivers left. We've got Dutch Face holding out in P1, we've got Flea in P2, Lulu in P3, we've got Mrs. Carl in P4, well deserved I will say. Zodiac in P5, we've got Miles in P6, Deepski P7, Curly P8, Nick to the name in P9, we've got Hank Hut in P10, Scorito in P11. Our drivers out are Moshe, Lewis the Beaker, Ian Marshall, Max and Vader. So just waiting for these scallywags to catch up and we'll be back racing. And there's a spin by Scarito, and he's back on facing the right direction and off again. So I do believe this might be the last lap with the safety car, as we do have Scarito just closing up for the back of the pack. So Elizabeth, I wish you were doing the commentary for the other one. No offense to Rob, but you're way more fun. Oh, thanks, Elizabeth. Do appreciate that. But yeah, we've had an eventful race already. Just over halfway through, we've had 2 safety cars. We've had a few glitches. I don't get told if it's a safety car. I just get told it's flagged. So. I've got a feeling that we're gonna see a McDutch face catapult, basically. So I think the McDutch face is gonna get the jump on Flea, but whether Flea can get away from Lulu will be something that we'll have to watch for. Mrs. Carl here though. He's on the hard tyres. It's going to be tough. Hopefully she gets a good run out and able to keep up with Lulu, because Zodak is looking to make that jump. And Miles on those soft tyres. Be interested to see how they go. So my eyes are going to be on Miles after the safety car restart. I'm going to constantly watching him to see whether he spins and dies or he's able to survive. So we are approaching this marker now. Safety car is in this lap. Here we go. So the Dutch face closing this pack up as tight as he can. Now we are going to be racing in technically. When the flags are gone, my screen, but it's yellow things, boxes still flashing. So I'm not going to say that he goes. McDutch face has gone early. He's gone early. Took Lulu by surprise a bit. I think he's took everybody by surprise. So this is why the gap is still. But Flea has stayed with him. Flea is absolutely amazed there. The softer compound has done him wonders, and Flea gets jumped, and there's a little bit of touch there, but I don't think that will be an issue, because yes, the face has lost on pace, but it didn't spin him out, it didn't cause any damage. And Flea has to make that gap work now. He's got to get in front and cover that penalty. Absolutely amazing to see a good little battle at the front there, as Lulu is looking to start making the pounce on McDutch face. Now Lulu could actually be the advocate here to give Flea the win, because if Lulu gets in front of McDutch face and forces McDutch face to slow down, that will open up the gap for Flea to claim that gap, a 3-second gap that he needs. And Miles is gone! Miles is gone! So that picks up a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Miles, who's dead. So as you can see, these are quite a few penalties sitting here. And again, another safety car. So this is just making it worse and worse for Flea, because he needs that gap. So guys, it's going to be another couple of laps, but you know what, is mental. It's been a mental race, and I've left the penalties up because what I'm going to do now, right, so this is the breakup of the time to the leader. Um, Anybody within 3 seconds of Flea will jump him in the standings. So currently, if it ends like this, Flea would drop down to behind Deepski, not including the penalty for Lulu, and Deepski, as it stands, all be behind Nick to the name now. So that there, he's dropped down there, and then guys will drop below. So we could see McDutch face, Mrs. Carr, and Nick to the name all being 1, 2, 3 on the podium. Now, my eyes are going to be on Mrs. Carr. Mrs. Carr could get P2 podium, depending on how she holds off with Lulu in front of him and Flea taking the lead. Now, chances of an honest chance of that happening is quite slim, but she should get P3. Now, P3 with Flea and P2 will give a double podium to Mercedes, which will help their championship contender, because the Grand Prix leader, Lewis Speaker, is out. So everybody on here now, all 10 drivers are going to get points. We're just waiting for Zodak to catch up at the back there, and then we'll, I think there's one more lap and we might head on in. But this will be hopefully the last safety car, because we're on lap 18. We've got 8 laps to go to complete 25 laps, and we've not had a decent string of laps racing since the first safety car. I think it'd be tiredness coming from some drivers, just lack of concentration and crashing out, or it actually could be the elements of the game just ruining someone's race, a glitch, or just bad drivers. Right, so we're halfway around the lap now. We're still waiting for Hank Hutt, who I think has dived into the pits recently. Let's go. Yep, putting a set of soft tyres. Can Hank use those soft tyres to his advantage in the last 7 laps and really? He's had 5 stops as well. Zodak's had 3. Here we go, boys and girls. I can feel it getting ready. I can feel that safety car going. You know what? I'm gonna go in a minute. Maybe not. Well, here we go, boys and girls. Another lap under the safety car. How interesting is this? Right. do apologise. I was just checking the message. So, interesting ways that everything's gone. So we've got Kaylee sitting in the back at the moment. He's put on soft tyres. So Hank, Hut and Kaylee opted for the soft tyres. So we've had a mixture of starts between these three drivers. Safety car is in on this lap, so Flea is going to back the pack up. You know, I might watch from Mrs. Carr's point of view this time. So what we're looking for here is the time difference between drivers 1, 2, 3 and 4. I usually go on P3, but because the way P3 sits there, watches the battle between P1 and P2 is quite good, but Lulu is in with this as well, so Mrs. Carr might be the preferred option. She rolls around this corner very nicely. She could have carried a bit more speed, and there goes the two Dutch face, and Lulu's got on. Oh, please gone. Lulu's got made the pounce on the Dutch face. The Dutch face is coming back. I think Lulu got told he had to get the place back up because he was caught in front on the Dutch face before the start. And Mrs. Carr's been caught out by Deepski. Deepski's managed to weasel his way through into P4, but this is where the penalties will come into play, because Mrs. Carr could get promoted up 1 or 2 spaces depending on how close she is to Lulu. The Dutch face holding well, needing to close that gap onto Flea. Flea done wonders on the restart. So we go. Flea P1, P2 McDutchface, P3 Lulu, P4 Deepski, P5 Mrs. Carr, P6 for Nick to the name, Scarito in P7, P8 Zodak, P9 Curly with the Hank battle going on. Oh no, Hank's dropped out a bit, but he's got Zodak in front of him. Curly really needs to push on if he wants those 4 points. He's got the drivers are there for the taking right now with those soft tyres. He should be able to take them. He's got a better drive. He just needs the right line. And maybe a bit of help from DRS. Because DRS around Jeddah is epically strong. This Flea picks up the new fastest up of 133.7. And it was a question that I was going to bring up. And Nick Name is dived into the pits. So Kelly is up into P8. Can he get P7 though? Because it's all there for the taking for him. It's those tyres are working wonders for him. Oh, he's lost out a bit there, going wide and reduced his speed to make sure he didn't pick up a warning. Which is fair play to him, but he needs to get back in there. But he does have a nice line coming through those two corners there. Absolutely beautiful way he's taking those lines. You can really see the dirt building up on the outside of the circuit there. As you can see, there's some of the skid marks there from the few spins that we've had. But here's one thing I'll notice is that most of the drivers do take a different line through the first hairpin, and it doesn't show that on the clean line. Clean line shows the supposed optimum line. There we go. We've got the last few laps to go. We're on lap 22 of 25, and Dutchface takes the fastest lap from Flea. There's a battle to and fro between these two drivers right at the front. Last few laps to go. We've got 4 laps, competitive laps, for these drivers to make a difference. And we'll get back onto Curly because Curly is right behind Zodak. And he really needs to make the move soon because he's just getting held up there. And the longer it gets held up there, the longer it's going to take for him to actually make any kind of difference about closing into those drivers further up. And Zodak is closing in onto Scudito. Scudito picks up a 3-second time penalty, which opens up the door for drivers behind him, such as Zodak and Curly, taking that spot. Now, Curly has got this half a second behind Zodak, and he is quicker. He is quicker than him. He just needs to find the right time to make his move, and he looks and opts out. And there's been a crash. Lulu's out. Lulu's dead. And it changes everything. It does. It changes a lot because Curly's now up to P7. He's now going to move into P6 with this move, which is a fantastic overtake from Curly onto Zodak. Well timed. He's used up the momentum carrying on after the Lulu crash to really optimise his overtake. But he's coming back. He's coming back. I'm trying to say something that Curly's held off well. But who's got the DRS? Zodak's got the DRS and he's looking to get closer and closer. He's not going to make a move. If he dives in, no, well done. I'm right in front of him now. Oh, Zodak made the inside switch back. Tell you what, fair play to both those drivers. Oh no, Curly, no. Oh no. Oh, wow. Curly was doing so well there. So right now we've got Mrs. Carl sitting in P4. That may change. We've got a couple of just 2.5 laps to go and this will all change again. It's absolutely mental. This has been an absolutely ridiculous race when it comes down to some entertaining moments. Curly got my overtake of the day on Zodak. That was a beautiful overtake. You can see it building for ages, and he just took it. The Dutch face absolutely deserving of the win if he continues doing this, and he picks up the fastest lap again. So he's going to hold he's going to take the 4 points again for Haas. So Haas really building up on that lead. Divsky, he's had an up and down race, but he's now in P2. Scarito from out of nowhere getting into P3, fantastic. And Mrs. Carl, clean race from Mrs. Carl, and it still could get better. You know what we're going to do? But penalties. So Divsky's got an 8-second time penalty. Now 8-second time penalty is huge. It's not going to be huge enough to actually tumble all the way down to the bottom because there is a big gap between 6th and 7th. So the lowest will go down is 6, but then we've got Flea on 8 seconds, so Flea will get down there, and Curly has crashed. Curly's crashed out. Coming out P2, those tyres were probably still red hot from the last spin, and even though it's harder to put the heat in, it's even harder to get the heat back out. So, especially when you're running them, it's so hard to get the heat back out when you're running them. And we do have Scarito who's fun. So right now we've got Mrs. Carl sitting in P3. She will get, if she can close that gap down to Divsky, she will get P2. But that's a big gap. She's had to watch, because of Scarito, she's had to slow right down. And then Zodak's thinking, you know what, I can snatch a spot. But we're in the final lap. Oh, Flea has come in. A Flea could be the protection that Mrs. Carl needs to secure that podium. Absolutely fantastic. This is where it can happen. So Curly T1, yeah, turn 1. Oh, Curly, you've had such a good race. Your overtake on Zodak before was absolutely phenomenal. Brilliant move. Wasn't too sure if you were going to get it in time because it just didn't look like it. And then Lulu's accidents kind of like opened up the gap for you and you went for it. So right now we're on the final lap, final half lap now with Dutch and Dutch Face. It's got acres of space in front of him. Mrs. Carl actually closing in on Deepski. So Deepski's gap is tumbling. So we are going to be seeing P1 Dutch and Dutch Face, P2 Mrs. Carl. A well-deserved P2 by Mrs. Carl. A very clean race. My driver today will be Mrs. Carl. She had a horrible start, but she's worked hard to get back up there and she's pushed herself through. Lucky with a couple of drivers in front that's actually crashed out. But absolutely well done. Dutch with Dutch Face winning the Jeddah Grand Prix. Deepski comes over the line in second, but that will drop down to third with Mrs. Carl taking P2. Now, Flea will go across the line in P4. But so that will jump into P4, knocking Flea down to P5. Nick to the name, Hank Hut and Scudito still yet to finish. Yeah, tyres died. It's after you that spin, mate. When you had that spin, you should go back. You should hear what I was like, no, Kelly, no. Because like, yeah, you were doing absolutely fantastic. I was actually rooting for you at that point. Hank Hut across the line, and we were waiting for Scudito to Formula Ford it across the line. Is Scudito a female? I don't know. I'm guessing it's a guy because most drivers are guy. It's a very Italian name, so and then to end on an O. So here we go, like an absolutely epic race. Epic on the sense of entertainment value. Driver of the day said Kelly, you had a good drive, you really did. If you finished, you would have got my driver of the day, but I am switching it over to Mrs. Carl. We got P2 today. A phenomenal effort. So Dutch with Dutch Face takes P1 and the fastest lap with a 1:33.1. P2 is all for Mrs. Carl. Deepski P3, Zodak P4, Flea P5, Nick to the name P6, Hank Hut in P7, got Scudito in P8. So our non-finishers of the day is Curly, Lulu, Miles, Moshe, Lewis the Beaker, I Marshall, Max and Vader. Guys, that was an epic TTFL Tier 2 race. Next week we should have Josh back to take over and covering the Tier 2 race, but that's been an absolutely entertaining race, and I thank every driver for taking part and absolutely everybody who's hopped in onto the stream. Thank you very much for joining me. I do appreciate it, especially everybody who's commented, Curly, Elizabeth, Big Salty Seawater, Mrs. Carl, Deepski, Cairo, and Dara. Guys, thank you very much for jumping in and making the commentary a little bit easier with your comments and questions. So thanks very much, Curly, for the good comms comments. I do appreciate it, mate. We all know you're just as good at comms, but you're better than me at racing. Guys, so I'll hand over to Josh next week, and hopefully you'll have a fantastic race wherever it may be. So until then, guys, good night.